One is a borderline stalker. The other one is someone who called her a smelly puss on national television. We have a couple from 90 Day Fiance called Danielle and Mohammed, and when I say a couple, I mean like a couple of people, because they're not a couple. They're as much a couple as me and a lady at a bus stop who I've never met, and it is the 4th installment of the series. I know it's a long series, but I just cannot not watch it. I have no idea how they end this stuff, but it seems to be dragging on. From anybody's, naked eye, I think it's fair to say that if you were to look at a couple and they were done and truly over with, it's safe to say move on. Just figure out your life. You'll do better in the future without them. But for whatever reason, Danielle holds on, and I don't know if it's because of revenge or because of her stalkish nature. And for whatever reason, Mohammed can't stop saying some dank shit.
This bitch Daniel has one of the nastiest quarters ever, and trust me, I've been around the block for a taste of that cream cow.
I advise you to watch my series if you haven't caught up, but if you have caught up and you just want to see two people arguing with each other, you've come to the right place. Yes, I'm a little sick, by the way, and if you don't subscribe, I'm getting sicker. I just guilt-tripped you. I'm gonna be an OG YouTuber. Okay, also follow me, 16leo_ on my Instagram. That way you can tell me about my amazingly deep voice. Thank you. Let's watch.
It's been months since I've seen him, and I am starting to move on from him.
She says as she holds a picture of them together still in her hands and keeps it on her bed, even though Mohammed at this point has left the house and has moved to many other cities. So at this point in a relationship, when it's well and truly over, the couple is separated, at best, maybe maintain a healthy discourse. Ideally, you still care about the person in some form. You might check on them. But Danielle still seems to be holding on to hope, holding on to these pictures, and it's just not looking good, man.
I'm going back to college, and I'm looking for a nicer home for me and my daughters, and I even have a new boyfriend.
That is a great development. I cannot believe that. She's going to college, she's re-enlisting and learning, she's trying to do better for her kids, and she's found a new man.
You guys can finally meet my boyfriend. Here he is. He's a little shy.
So she's moved on. Things are great. Why are we watching this then, if things are going so well? I have a feeling it has something to do with the picture she's still keeping of Mohammed.
We're in a long-distance relationship. I'm moving on from Mohammed, but he can't treat someone like this and expect to get away with it.
Bitch, that's called vindictive. That's not when you didn't move on. That's what that is. If you moved on, you'd be so happy with your boyfriend that you wouldn't. Mohammed, that's just a common name. Apparently the most common in the world. I don't know anybody else called Mohammed.
After I saw him in Miami, he disappeared. I've been trying to track him down for a while, and I finally found him.
She's trying to exact revenge on this man. Nobody who has a happy life starts exacting revenge. If you're like trying to go back to school, get your kids a better home, and have a boyfriend, in what period of time do you have revenge? When is your revenge period between that? Nap time, eating, get a better house, make love to my sweet, sweet long-distance boyfriend? Revenge? What? Why? What's the problem, Danielle? Come on.
He's gonna have a visitor soon, and I'm finally gonna get some payback.
All I heard was payback, and she finally tracked him down. They should just put her on the FBI. Honestly, she could get a job. If you just told her all of the people that were, suspected of doing some heinous activity were her exes, she'd find all of them in, a heartbeat. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but it's certainly a skill. She's using it for the wrong reasons, though. Meanwhile, Mohammed is, I assume, somewhere in Miami. After the last time, he moved out of the house that he was in to a different house, so that Danielle couldn't find him, because she came to his exact location the last time. And just like a very stalkerish behavior, she probably would show up again. I don't know why he hasn't got a restraining order on her. I probably would by now.
Danielle and I separated, but we are still married. It's hard for me to move on in my life because she doesn't want to leave me alone. After she had my address, I knew that I have to leave Miami.
Never mind, he moved even other cities.
I'm packing my bags.
Hello. Okay.
So we get this amazing, hip-hop music, this trap shit to show that he means business. He's ready. He gets in the car. He's like, yo, what it is? Yeah, all right, I'm gonna be there. And then you find out what he's doing.
I had to do things for money that I never thought I would.
When he says the words, I have to do things for money, I never thought I would.
What do you mean by that?
I was thinking maybe he had to, you know, do a little underground activity, a little heinous behavior, maybe Breaking Bad perhaps, selling a couple things that he never would. But really, what he's actually talking about,
I have a job now as a driver, and I moved to Port Richey, Florida, and I have my own apartment.
he's an Uber driver.
I never went to Uber driver.
He never thought his life would get to this.
I'm moving on from the drama with Danielle. I just want my divorce and for her to leave me alone.
So Mohammed just wants to be left alone. And, you know, at the end of the series, especially with the tell-all, when he said that she had a stinky vajayjay, it was like, okay, that was not your information to disclose. I was like, nah. That's bad. But after that, once it's all said and done, the fact that Mohammed wants to be left alone, he's not making contact with Danielle. So it should be let bygones be bygones. It's not that, because he gets a knock on the door and it turns out to be someone serving him papers.
Are you Mohammed Jawali? Jibali. Yeah. All right, these are for you.
I just got served with the annulment paper. I can't believe that Danielle, she filed for an annulment again.
You gotta wonder how the hell she even found you there when you moved to a different place in Florida. This is a bigger issue at hand. Not only did she serve him annulment papers, which for any of you who don't know, annulment papers mean that there's a chance that he could get deported, and Danielle wants to get her revenge by deporting this man back to Tunisia, in which he came from. I don't know how to feel about it. I think that that's a power breach, in my opinion. But I also, at this point, think, how the hell did she find him when he moved? Oh my God. I wouldn't even be surprised if he got in his Uber and then he saw like Danielle just pull up and get in behind him. And she's like, Mohammed, take me to hell because we're about to have this conversation.
It's so frustrating that Danielle changed her mind and she just went for a second annulment because she keeps doing the same all the time. Like, promise me something and then do something different.
Yeah, so the thing is, Mohammed wants to live in America. America, the land of the free, the land where you can get a dead cat and put it on your couch and nobody will say, what the hell is wrong with you? So he likes this place and he wants to stay. He wants to make a life. He's working. He's doing an honest job at the moment. I don't know. How do you feel? Because I don't think that this man is doing anything wrong. I think he's just trying to live within his own bounds. And maybe the good thing is just to let him live. But Danielle just doesn't want to do that. She needs that revenge. If she doesn't get her way, it's going to be no way at all.
I'm gonna call Danielle and try to talk to her about changing her mind.
So Mohammed decides he's gonna call Danielle and try and smooth talk her. The thing is, Mohammed is a lot of things. Tunisian, a man, many things. But what he isn't is a smooth talker. I've seen him talk to women. I've seen him talk to people. He somehow manages to piss everyone off at any given juncture. So him trying to sweet talk Danielle into changing the annulment into a divorce is just a hilarious concept.
I just got served now for the annulment papers.
I refiled the annulment, and I'm not pulling it this time.
Oh, really? I would do anything to stay here in this country.
Oh yeah, you would. I know you would. You have to do some things you never thought you would, like Uber drive, or even worse, Lyft.
I think I'm coming to Ohio soon.
Okay.
If you have time, we can sit down and talk. I don't think that she can force me to leave the country because it's not up to her.
Nice. This is good. Good plan. So he wanted to leave Ohio. He wanted nothing to do with her. She serves him summons papers for annulment. And now he's like, I am coming back to Ohio. I want to talk maybe. Look, man, Mohammed, your sense of charm is like your dress code. Not as good as you think. I've never seen a grown man wear that before. You look like an old Floridian.
I'm ready for a fresh start. I'm ready to move on from the Mohammed chapter. And this is part of the Mohammed chapter, living here.
Are you sure your kid is alive? Just nodding off because the mom can't afford therapy, so she uses her kids for therapy. God, Danielle.
Because of Mohammed, a lot of my family and friends aren't speaking to me anymore. So I'm hoping to work on my relationship with them now that he's gone.
Way to blame Mohammed for you distancing yourself from everyone else. Way to blame that on the guy who literally had nothing to do with it. By the way, if you don't know, her son got a restraining order because he tried to fight Mohammed. I think her friends, her sisters are not talking to her as much because she's just someone who doesn't actually listen to anyone who gives her advice. She just does her own thing. So at some point you're like, yeah, I'll give you the advice, but I'm not that invested anymore because you don't seem to want to take it. Her kids at this point are like, yeah, Mohammed sucks. You should have left. And for whatever reason, she's just not fully leaving.
I think that since you've started dating someone new, you're a lot more confident because Mohammed was always putting you down while your new boyfriend encourages you. I mean, I don't think you ever would have went back to school if he didn't encourage you.
Well, that's great. I mean, if you find someone who's encouraging and loving and fits in all the ways that your ex-partner doesn't, it's good. And it's also even better if you don't go back to the ex-partner and be like, you were shit in all these ways. Rather, maybe just appreciate the fact that the other person fills in all of the blanks and the other person couldn't. Hopefully this relationship goes well for her. I'd like to know who this man is.
That's a good-sized deck.
Yeah. I've never owned a home before. I've had issues with finances and stuff like that, so we always had to move.
In true American style, Beth, the fatter one, and Danielle go and they find a place that actually could be livable. Danielle wants to move out of the place that she used to be in. It has the Mohammed stench, so to speak.
You know, are you truly finally over Mohammed?
So, while getting this new place that shows, you know, all these improvements in Danielle's life, Beth is like, hey, are you actually over Mohammed? And she says yes. Does anyone in life really think that she's over Mohammed? If your life was going really well, you found a great place, you supported your kids or family or friends, everything was on the ups, you found a new partner who did everything right and encouraged you, would you ever think about your ex? Would you? I don't think so.
Hello?
Hello, I'm just letting you know that I am here.
Okay.
I'm stuck in the highway and I just ran out of gas. Are you gonna be able to come and help me?
This is a very, very bad situation for Mohammed. He said, I'm calling to let you know I'm here, which is great. But then he said he's stuck in the highway. He ran out of gas. I don't know, man. Mohammed being an Uber driver, you'd think at some point this dude is like, let me figure out my gas to fucking mileage ratio. This must be a classic Uber driver mistake, not putting gas in the car thinking it's gonna go.
No, I can't come and help you.
Ooh, that evil laugh really gets me. It must be like a little moment of validity when maybe an ex who has treated you wrong in your eyes suddenly asks for help. But it's that little moment for her where she's like, no, I can't help you. You want gas? That's all I got for you, bitch.
Well, I don't know what to do.
He chose to leave, so I choose not to help him.
Oh, shit. God. Every time she, laughs and stuff, she makes this evil twitch. I don't know what it is, but it freaks me out sometimes. She's like, he's just wanna be, he leaves me, so I'm not gonna help him.
Please just look at the similarity
I managed to walk to the gas station and now I'm meeting with the lawyer.
This is very serious. It is a serious situation.
The car or the annulment? I don't know what to even think about this episode. There's so much going on. For one, Danielle seems to be happy, but below the surface, there's like a revenge arc. And then for Mohammed, he seems to be doing okay, but he somehow does some stupid shit and then calls upon Danielle only when he needs her and thinks that that's okay as well, when it's not.
To have that green card stay valid, you have to be with the person who was the original petitioner. That's her. If you're not with that person, then you're out of status, which means you can be deported.
Yeah, you know what's even worse than that? Wearing the color combination of dark gray, light gray, black, and weird blue. That's gonna get you deported right here for the fashion crimes that you keep committing in America. What is it with you and wearing horizontal line shirts? You look like Where's Wally if he had depression.
The way the K-1 visa is designed is to prevent fraud. The biggest issue that we've got is intent. Did you marry her with good intentions, or did you marry her only to get a green card?
I married her with good intentions.
So now the lawyer tries to help Mohammed by explaining in sort of layman terms, this is what we're gonna need to do. This is the anthill that we're gonna have to climb. And while he's trying to explain, he could almost see Mohammed not actually understanding and then starting to get mad at nothing. You can see just as an audience, Mohammed doesn't actually have the fortitude or the wherewithal to understand that just being emotional or angry during the situation is not gonna help his case in any way, shape, or form. But this dude is like, yes, I marry her with good intention. But she fat, so I leave.
He's in trouble.
I will talk to Danielle tomorrow and I will try to convince her to be friends again. It's going to be easier if Danielle is on my side.
So at the end of the day, after the lawyer's like, yeah, no, this is fucked. He's like, I'm gonna try and convince Danielle to be my best buddy.
Let's be friends. Best friends.
Remember last time when you said friends? and then she followed you to Miami because she's like, I'll be there for you. Yeah, so this is Mohammed's plan. I'm going to befriend my ex-wife and try and get her to drop the annulment. This should be fun.
He said he was coming to Ohio and he wanted to meet up with me so we could talk.
Hello.
Can I get you?
Yeah, let me get a coffee, like.
Hi.
Oh shit, when he said hello, I thought he was gonna greet her first. Have you ever seen a couple so removed from each other when they meet at coffee places or other things, they order before greeting each other? That's some of the craziest shit I ever seen. Have you ever like wanted to meet up with your friend and before you see your friend, you're like, hello, dude, I'll have one donut and a coffee.
So why did you decide to come to Ohio?
I met with a lawyer. He told me that because we are not living together anymore, they can just come to me and tell me, you need to leave the country right now.
I like this plan. I really like this plan, Mohammed. Go down, sit, order the coffee and food before you even greet her. And then when she asks what the hell is up, you tell her exactly your issue. That basically you have my balls by the hand and you could just, I have zero power. Just give her more power. Give her more infinity stones. See what happens.
So, it's getting more complicated now.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. There's the smile of, there's that evil, I won, bitch. I won. You're going back.
Just looking for making things better. I'm apologizing again for so many things I said.
No. I like that. I'm apologizing for so many things that I said, that I did. I'm apologizing for most things that you are mad about. I'm apologizing. Now I'm going to go. Don't get divorced. I'm going to be in America. Bye? Okay. I like the umbrella apology. That's a good tactic.
I think that he thinks that if he's nice enough that I will pull the annulment, but he don't know the new me.
It's kind of hard to know the new you. I mean, I guess there's a lot of internal changes going on Danielle. Physically, though, you wouldn't believe she changed. It would have probably been better if he actually wanted to talk to her. Just, like, seriously. Would have been better to, hello, how are you? How are things? Let's catch up.
Should I pay interest in people's around the table sides?
Yes.
Remember the first 2 or 3 weeks when I first came here?
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
It was good.
And when we started having problems, when people started getting involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not right to blame it just on me.
I'm not just blaming it on you.
It's our mistake.
That's it, bro. It's all a mistake. Could you be more casual about the situation and possibly getting deported? She holds the fate off your, status in the palm of her hands. You're like, it's all a big mistake, right? We don't know. It is what it is.
It's our mistake.
It still hurts that our marriage didn't work out, but I also know I made mistakes.
We are talking, so just tell me what's going on in your life. How you doing?
Hey, he actually asked how she's doing. That's good. He shows some sort of interest in her life. But it was like, hey, since we are talking, how are you? You look the same. Bad, but all right.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
I'm seeing someone.
I think with Danielle having a new boyfriend, it's gonna make things better. Before, she was trying to get back to me, but now I don't have to worry about that.
That is such a funny scene that Danielle looked at him as if like she was about to stab him through the heart and said, I'm seeing someone. And like in his inner head, he's like, oh, thank God. Now she will get off my back. I love how that backfired, and I don't even think she knew about it.
If you want to be a close friend of mine, that would be like something good for me.
I'm just ready to move on. And in order to move on, I need to forgive him.
That was a very mature and amazing thing to say. In order to move on, I need to forgive him. There's two people you have to forgive whenever you move on. The other person and yourself. People oftentimes use the past to be like, this is how I am. This is what I am. But at the end of the day, you have to move forward with yourself. And forgiving the other person and also being kind to yourself makes you more open for the next person. And that's important. So we're a nugget of truth in this pile of shit.
In order for us to be friends, you need to apologize to my family members. We don't talk like we used to because I defended Mohammed. I'm meeting with them so I can apologize.
Yep, so again, we have another scene of Danielle borderline crying, but she meets her son, who has the restraining order, as well as her sister and her sister's partner. 3 people that we saw at the start of when Danielle and Mohammed met that are now firmly against him.
I want to say sorry for things that have happened.
Oh shit, I love how these two apologize. This is the most gangster shit ever. I want to say sorry for things that have happened. I would like to apologize for the nature of situations. It has come to my attention you were unhappy with things that were happening, and I do apologize for such things. I gotta start apologizing like them.
You're gonna stick with the annulment this time. You're not gonna let him come back and...
He's a manipulator.
It's like a little rat.
He's a little rat. He's a little rat from Tunisia. He's coming in, taking my sister. He's a little rat, ratatouille. I watched that movie. He's a little ratatouille. He's on my sister's head in her hat, cooking her food, doing it well. I hate him.
He's a sweet talker. He knows how to say
but
the right
he's
words.
not going to sweet talk me.
He actually couldn't be less of a sweet talker if he tried. If you were diabetic, you could ask him to sweet talk you and we would be fine. But this man couldn't be charismatic or charming if he fucking tried to. He just says things and Danielle romanticizes them and then does things. It's as much her fault as it is his.
I said, if you really want to be here, then you need to show people that you're not using people.
Don't help him. Don't help him.
I'm not helping him. So when you meet with him, to talk to him.
I don't know if I'd sit down with him.
Don't bring me into it.
Danielle basically says, hey, I might drop the annulment if he apologizes and you guys have a discourse. And unsurprisingly, Danielle's sister and partner looks at her and is like, I don't like this plan at all. Why are you helping him?
Mohammed is a little sketchy to me. Just I don't trust him. I don't think she should either. I think she should just leave it between the lawyers and them, and that's it.
He's like a simple Toby Maguire. It's like if the spider bit him and like removed IQ points. Mohammed, I don't trust Mohammed. I don't think he's really here for my mother. I don't know. I also tried to climb a wall yesterday. Now my hand hurts.
All I'm asking is just to hear what he says, because I do want this to be over with.
You know what? If it would help you move on, then I would.
This culminates in the final and climatic scene where Mohammed and Danielle's family meet each other in the parking lot, the best place to have a conversation, and they try and hash things out.
I'm gonna call him out on.
If you wanted to stand in, like, you know, camouflage, you should have dressed like some tar. It's unbelievable how American people choose to wear this camouflage on a regular day.
Hello. Hello. So, I'm here. Okay, I'm sorry if I did anything that you guys did not like.
I'm sorry if you are offended for anything. It's your problem, but I guess I'm sorry you get offended. Yeah, we gotta teach people how to apologize sometimes. Whenever people say, I'm sorry if you were hurt, you're almost removing yourself from that, like, situation. Sometimes, and something I've learned is not to say, I'm sorry if you were offended, but actually try and understand the other person's situation and saying, I can see how I've made you feel that way. Because another person's feelings are just as valid even if your intentions aren't the same. And oftentimes, when people get hurt, your intent is not to hurt them. So it's easier to see where they're coming from and be like, okay, I understand that. Hopefully you can understand me. Let's have a proper communication about it.
What you know about me is not the truth. Tricks
Actions
and
speak
women.
louder than words. When
What
you go
actions?
out of state and you're a married man with another woman.
These women you are talking about, they're only two.
Too many. You're married. There should only have been one.
These women's, only two. You would talk about me cheat for everyone? Only two. And then the other dude's like, two? You're married. You should only be cheating with one person. Two? That's wrong.
These people are trying to act like they are better than everyone, so I don't respect them.
I don't want to intervene because they all need to work it out instead of me getting in the middle.
That's some baller shit. Two people who, like, in your life who are conflicting with each other because of you, and you leave the situation like, I don't think that I'm supposed to be here. You brought them together to talk and then leave. Way to remove yourself from the situation, Danielle.
What about when you came back to get her to drop the first annulment?
She did it. She signed for it.
And what did you give her in return? Grief, heartache.
That dick.
She gave me even, like, worse than that.
Mohammed's motive is to come here, apologize, suck it up so he could maybe possibly live in this country. All he had to do was take it. All he had to do was sit there, let these guys be like, you were trash, blah, blah, blah. And he could have been like, okay. And at the end of the day, he would have been like, you know, I said sorry. And Danielle would have been like, you're right, I'm gonna get you your divorce. You can go to Florida and do whatever you want. But instead of doing that, he had to run his mouth. The pride, man.
Do you think part of the fighting, too, would be all the emails between women?
What emails? Let me tell you something. I have so many messages and emails from Danielle telling to other men that she's in love with them.
Damn. Why you guys email that to each other? Emails for, like, business, bro. What the fuck are you guys doing? All y'all emailing, I love you. P.S. It's me, Mohammed. Kind regards, Mohammed. And the subject is love? Question mark?
I can't forgive you.
Don't forgive me. You have nothing to do with me.
Lovely. This is how this was supposed to go. The family is like, I can't forgive you. And he's like, why you even care? I don't give a shit. And now it basically devolves. And whatever we came here for, we're not getting.
My question is, if she wins the annulment in her favor, are you going back?
Going back like my country?
Yeah. If you're out of the equation, there will be no doubts in her mind about decisions she's making.
That's fantastic, Danielle's sister, but you know, you're just enabling her at this point. If this is how relationships worked, then nobody should ever be in one ever, because this is just really sour. If you're so weak mentally, you can't even, like, not think about someone. Maybe it's not about him being in his own country. I'm pretty sure Danielle would go to Tunisia just to harass Mohammed at this point. I don't think there's ever a time that she wouldn't.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm not going back.
Let's go.
All right.
So with that, the family leaves, and they want him deported, as usual. Mohammed can't actually hold his tongue back. His pride gets the better of him. He's unable to apologize, and Danielle says nothing during that interaction, as if she was a passive baby.
I tried to apologize for them, but they don't want even to listen.
I want to be able to believe you and trust you.
Okay, I will show you and show everybody.
This conversation did not go well.
You don't say. You waited till the end to talk to him. You just stood there. Danielle, you have to mediate. If you brought these two people together with the intent that you wanted some sort of outcome, you couldn't have just waited there.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going back to Florida, but even after this fight, I feel like this trip is worth it.
Do you? All you did was fight. I think the most worth it thing at the end was the fact that they hugged each other, and there's a potential chance that Danielle might not get the annulment because she thinks that he tried, which would just go against everything she says, but this is kind of the person that we're dealing with in the series. Like, she could say one thing and then 10 minutes later have a change of heart.
It's bipolar girl summer.
I do hope he meant what he said, that he's gonna keep his promises and talk civil. We'll see what happens.
And it ends like that, with Danielle saying, I hope he keeps his end of the bargain. I hope that he keeps the peace. And I hope that we, you know, talk civil, which is all just code word for her saying, I want him back in a very, very odd way. And I know this because the last few episodes, this is exactly what happened. This is just history repeating itself right now. We're gonna be in an endless loop. And this is gonna be the next video. I just want to let you know, they're going to do the same thing. It just gets worse every time. I think. I haven't finished the series. It's a long one, but my God. Hey, I mean, this is 90 Day Fiance, a show that teaches me that maybe 90 days is not enough time to know the love of your life. Maybe. For some amazing people, it clicks instantly. For most, I don't know. I think love is a very tough thing to actually cultivate. And like I always say, it's not necessarily about like initial attraction. I mean, it is, but you gotta find someone who you're willing to face life with, someone who you're willing to take the ups and downs with. Because if you don't, you're just gonna end up with someone who you are trying to send back to Tunisia, who wears the worst shirts I've ever seen in my life. And you don't want that. That is the video today. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm sure I'll get better soon, and I will see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, and be kind.